At 11:44 a.m. in California, Aeromexico Flight 498 was cruising at 10,000 feet, preparing to enter Los Angeles International Airport. Minutes earlier, they had communicated with a controller located in an intermediate sector, who instructed them to head toward the silv edge and descend to 7,000 feet before contacting the Los Angeles Tracking Controller, another controller prior to tower control. The Los Angeles metropolitan area constitutes a complex air hub. 5 main commercial airports, 4 military facilities, and nearly 19 general aviation airfields used by private pilots make this region one of the most complicated in the world for flight operations. That August 31st, 1986, at Tijuana International Airport, officially named Abelardo L. Rodriguez Airport, Aeromexico Flight 498 was ready. The aircraft, a McDonnell Douglas DC-9 from the state airline, had made prior stops in Guadalajara and Laredo before arriving in Tijuana on the U.S. border to later complete its final leg to Los Angeles. The plane, called Hermosillo, had been in service for a year and 5 months. The captain in command was Arturo Valdez, 46 years old with 4,632 flight hours on the DC-9 and a total accumulated 10,641 hours. He was accompanied by First Officer Jose Hector Valencia, 26 years old with 1,463 hours of experience, mostly on this type of aircraft. The crew included 4 more members, while 58 passengers, mainly Mexican and American, brought the total on board to 64 people. At 11:20, the DC-9 began its taxi along the runway and took off without incident, climbing to 10,000 feet, its planned cruising altitude. The flight was expected to last approximately 1 hour. Meanwhile, at Torrance Airfield, a few kilometers southeast of Los Angeles International Airport, a small Piper Cherokee Archer was preparing to take off. It was Sunday, August 31st, 1986, Labor Day weekend, and the Kramer family had organized a trip to Big Bear Lake, a popular recreational destination in the San Bernardino Mountains, east of Los Angeles. The Piper's pilot was William Kramer, 53 years old, with only 280 hours of flight experience. He was accompanied by his wife, Calden, 51, and their daughter, Caroline, 26. Their destination was Big Bear City Airport, a busy general aviation base registering tens of thousands of aircraft movements each year, almost all small single-engine planes, like the Kramer's PA-28. However, reaching there would not be as simple as flying in a straight line. Between the family's operating base at Torrance Municipal Airport and their destination lay the Los Angeles Terminal Control Area. At 11:40, the Kramer's plane took off from Torrance Municipal Airfield. At the same time, Aeromexico Flight 498 began its descent from 10,000 feet, following instructions to descend toward the silv edge and then connect with the Los Angeles TRACON. Captain Valdez started the descent and a few minutes later communicated with controller Walter White, 35, a disciplined professional with 6 years of experience, specialized in managing aircraft approaching the airport from the east. His job was to sequence incoming flights before they contacted the tower for landing clearance. For Walter White, Flight 498 was just another routine flight among the many he controlled daily. His instructions, including the Silv Edge, would have the aircraft leave that point heading northwest at 7,000 feet, moving toward the southern area of the TCA, designed to protect planes arriving from that direction due to heavy traffic at other altitudes. As the DC-9 leveled off at 7,000 feet, the Kramer's plane continued its flight plan, which called for cruising at 9,500 feet. Being based on visual flight rules, it had to pass below 6,000 feet or above 7,000 feet to avoid interfering with TCA traffic. However, William Kramer, with little experience, tried to navigate along with his wife, unsure if they were following the correct road, and their aircraft slowly climbed as they checked the maps. As Flight 498 descended from 7,000 to 6,000 feet, another aircraft unexpectedly communicated with the Los Angeles Center controller. A pilot of a small plane requested monitoring to his final destination as he had entered the TCA area without permission. The controller gave instructions to exit the dangerous area and then refocused attention on the DC-9. He checked the radar screen, seeing no other immediate approaching flights, and everything seemed in order. Meanwhile, the Kramer's small plane had passed 6,000 feet and was in the same area where Aeromexico's DC-9 was approaching. On the radar, the plane appeared only as a small triangle with no speed or altitude information because its transponder was basic. In contrast, commercial flights had advanced transponders showing direction, altitude, and speed. At 11:50, without either pilot realizing it, Flight 498 and the Kramer's Piper intersected in the air. Chance placed them in the same space and time, causing the collision at 6,560 feet over the Cerritos suburb. William Kramer's PA-28 struck the DC-9's tail. The small plane's engine hit the top of the vertical stabilizer, while the leading edge of the horizontal stabilizer pierced the cabin, instantly decapitating all three occupants of the Piper. The violent impact tore off the DC-9's vertical and horizontal stabilizers, eliminating aerodynamic control of the tail. The aircraft began an extreme vertical descent with no chance of recovery. During the fall, the cockpit voice recorder captured Captain Valdez's last desperate scream. Finally, the DC-9 crashed into several houses at the corner of Holmes Avenue and Asu Place in Cerritos. A massive explosion shook the neighborhood, and a wave of burning debris spread across the area. In total, 82 people lost their lives. The 64 occupants of Aeromexico's DC-9, the 3 members of the Kramer family in the Piper, and 15 residents on the ground who were in their homes, unaware of the accident. Additionally, 8 people were seriously injured in the residential area of Cerritos. The investigation began by questioning the controller, since at no point did he notify Flight 498 about the presence of the Piper. Walter White stated that he had never seen that aircraft on his radar. The National Transportation Safety Board determined that the probable cause of the accident was the limitations of the air traffic control system in providing collision protection, both through control procedures and automated redundancy. Contributing factors included the unauthorized entry of the PA-28 into the TCA and the system's limitations in maintaining separation under conflict conditions. Following this accident, automated detection systems were implemented in the United States, both at airports and onboard aircraft, to prevent similar collisions in the future. Before concluding, we want to thank all the channel subscribers. Your support is truly valuable. Every comment and visit helps the channel grow and motivates us to keep sharing these stories. Your engagement allows us to continue researching, documenting, and explaining aviation incidents with care and precision. Thank you again for being part of this community and for your constant support. It truly makes a difference.